I'm outside of Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital where that 7-year-old girl is. Police originally told us she was stable, but unfortunately she's now critical. And I did reach out to Cleveland Police to learn more about this crash. I am waiting to hear back. Now, again, the construction project is in phase 2. It's expected to be completed by the end of August. In Cleveland, Winnie Dorch, 19 News. A very devastating scene out here. Family members have showed up very distraught and upset about this scene. Again, a 7-year-old shot by her little brother. We have confirmed that. Now, a minute before we went on air, police brought out 3 babies, seems to be of ages of 1 to 3 years old. 26-year-old Jamarius Williams was taking a box downstairs to the U-Haul truck. Suddenly, someone walked up to him and shot him. Thankfully, no one was injured, but this happened in broad daylight right outside of this bar. Several children were on the corner on their bikes. One of them even ran for cover. This was previously Ray Barber's home. He lived on the 2nd floor. As you can see, it's a total loss. But he tells me one thing. He learned that it's important to have renter's insurance. Rochelle says her sister's children are coping with this the best they can, considering the circumstances. If you know anything about her whereabouts, please call Cleveland Police. Her family needs her. Police say after the shooting, someone took the gun and left the home. They don't believe that person shot the child, but they are looking for them. Raynell Peterson should be getting ready for graduation here at Euclid High School today, but she's recovering at University Hospitals after she was shot over the weekend. So school administrators brought the diploma to her. Meet 5-year-old Giovanni Risley. He is autistic and suffers from attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Wednesday morning, somehow, he left the daycare without a staff member knowing. He was walking down the street alone in the rain.
He's my only kid, and like anything could have happened to my kid. You know what I'm saying? Like anything could have happened to him. He could. Thank God there was a guardian angel watching over my kid.
Little Gio was almost hit by a car.
He caused a 3-car collision.
No, it's just phony.
My kid could have got severely hurt.
Gio attends Brilliant Beginnings in Cleveland's Old Brooklyn neighborhood. His mom, Malika Risley, had just dropped him off at the daycare. Before she could make it to work, she got a call from her friend, who also has a child at the same daycare.
They didn't want to tell you because they didn't want to freak you out, but they lost your son and he's missing. Immediately, like my heart dropped in my stomach.
Risley turned around, calling police. It wasn't too long before they found him.
When I got there, he was in the ambulance.
Risley says the daycare has yet to pick up the phone and call her since the incident, not even offering an apology.
They haven't talked to me at all. They haven't said anything to me.
I need answers, so I went to the daycare myself. This is what happened.
No comment.
You don't have any comment? Okay, thank you. I also pulled the daycare's most recent state inspection report from April 18th. It says children were left unattended more than once, and child care staff were using mirrors to view children in another room. The state requires children to be supervised and within sight and hearing of a child care staff member at all times.
Knowing what I know now, after their inspection, it makes me sick to my stomach. He would have been gone.
What's more disturbing is Risley says the daycare didn't tell her Gio was missing. She had to learn from a third party.
Why wouldn't you want to tell me? You didn't want to tell me for what? For what reason? Like, that makes no sense at all. My kid could have got killed.
So now Gio is at home with mommy until she can figure out who can care for him properly so she can go to work and provide.
I just don't want him to go to any more daycares. I'm just done.
In Cleveland, I'm Winnie Dorch, 19 News. Lights out at Brilliant Beginnings Child Care Center in Cleveland's Old Brooklyn neighborhood. No children, no staff, just empty seats. As of May 9th, the owner voluntarily shut it down. Malika Risley says it's the news she was hoping for.
I'm ecstatic that they're shut down.
19 News first introduced you to Risley on May 4th, angry and frustrated that her 5-year-old autistic son, little Gio, somehow got out of the daycare. He was walking down the street alone and was almost hit by a car. Brilliant Beginnings employees were unaware he left. Risley says they didn't even call her to tell her Gio was missing. Instead, she got a call from another parent.
When I first got the call, I felt like my heart dropped in my stomach. I was scared.
like any other mother would be. I was scared, and I didn't know how to feel.
Thankfully, police found Gio safe. Now, 2 weeks later, the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services confirming Brilliant Beginnings is closed after our report. The state releasing a statement following discussions between ODJFS and Brilliant Beginnings regarding allegations brought forth by Channel 19 and others. The provider informed us that they were permanently closing their program.
My son got the justice that I was looking for.
Risley says she trusted the daycare with her son, knowing they would protect him at all costs.
For them to sit there and say that my kid will be, you'll have no worries with him in there, and he'll be fine in there, and we got him, we'll keep a close eye on him and stuff like that. For that to happen, really messed up my head.
She's now urging every mom to do their research.
And I really want women to be careful with where they send their kids to school and stuff like that, because you never know what could happen. Take that as an example.
And Brilliant Beginnings can't reopen without applying and being approved for a new license. As for Gio, he's currently staying with family and friends until he starts school in September. In Cleveland, Winnie Dorch, 19 News.
When I saw the little girl, it's heartbreaking. I can't get the image out my head.
That little girl is 7 years old, shot in the head inside her home on East 128th and Metcalf. Cleveland Police Chief Wayne Drummond says this unfortunate shooting should wake up this city.
In her home, her safe haven, that she shocked you to your core, and it does mean. And now we are responsible for investigating it.
My baby been shot. Can y'all get over here, please?
Police say her little brother accidentally pulled the trigger. She's now fighting for her life at Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital.
That bothers me, and I hope it bothers you too, and we don't become so numb to it that it's just another incident. It's just another report.
It was just before 9 Wednesday morning. The girl's mom ran across the street asking a neighbor for a phone to call police.
She didn't seem panicked. It just seemed like it was an emergent situation, and she needed to use the phone. So I gave her the phone. She said she'd bring it back.
Police arriving on scene, searching for bullet holes and shell casings. Families showing up, screaming in distress. 5 children were brought out of the home, one of them a little boy carrying a white bag. Police escorted a woman to the back of their cruiser, but she was not in handcuffs. She used a jacket to cover her face. A neighborhood hurt and sickened.
Unfathomable. And at that hour of the day, like, neighbors was running down from all over just to see what was going on, because this is a quiet street, you know, typically, so not a lot of stuff goes on there. So that was just something kind of out of the norm for us. My heart goes out to the whole family.
A scary and dangerous situation at the corner of West 104th and Madison Avenue. Watch this. Police say that's Larell Cromedy. He can be seen shooting at another car. The 34-year-old doesn't seem to care who is around, because at that exact moment, 3 children were also at the corner riding their bikes.
104 Madison, 3 shots heard.
But what led up to him pulling out a gun? Cromedy was on West 104th Street coming up to Madison Avenue. At the intersection, a second car turned in front of him, and police say Cromedy honked his horn and started swearing at the driver. The other driver then stops, opens the door, leans out, and points at Cromedy. That's when this gets completely out of control.
Silverado with a lawnmower in the back of it was involved.
Cromedy reaches in his truck, grabs a gun. As the driver is pulling away, police say Cromedy fired 5 shots. Listen to this. Cromedy is not even allowed to have a gun or ammunition after being convicted for felonious assault and attempted felonious assault. And we've just learned that Cromedy is in custody. In Cleveland, Winnie Dorch, 19 News.
Congratulations.
Raynell Peterson receiving her diploma, just not where she hoped it would be. Instead of being at Euclid High School with her classmates, she's recovering at UH. On Mother's Day, the 17-year-old was shot in the chest right above her heart.
I cry about it every day since she in there. Like, right now she in so much pain. To see her in pain bring me pain.
Early Sunday morning, Peterson was at a party near 105th and Ashbury, a celebration before graduation, saying her goodbyes to friends. Suddenly, gunshots. Someone called Peterson's parents to make sure she made it out of the party safely, not knowing she was one of 2 teens shot.
We got the location on her phone, and we seen it was at UH.
She wasn't even the target. It was somebody else that they were looking for.
When Peterson woke up, she couldn't talk, so she wrote messages to express how she felt.
Dad, I was scared, Dad. She writing on these messages. She want the violence to stop. She like, this could have happened to anybody.
After graduation, Peterson and her family were planning to move out of the state, starting a new life. Peterson pursuing her dreams in the medical field, but now she may have a different calling.
I'm gonna write her book, and she says she can be an activist about this.
Her dad, Darnell Peterson, is counting his blessings. His smart and beautiful daughter survived one of the worst situations of her life.
I got friends and stuff like who had to bury their kids, man, and it's like, oh my God, I have a different sorrow or pain for them because I see how I feel like to be that close to that pain, that kind of pain.
He's so thankful for every person who has reached out to show support to his daughter.
Them prayers, man, they work. God answered them, man. I thank all y'all, man. People who don't even know us, man. I thank all y'all. I really appreciate y'all.
You're watching cell phone video showing the aftermath of a crash on Franklin Boulevard. It's the same street where people demanded something be done to slow down speeders. Several drivers killed or hurt over the past few years.
Speed has been a problem. There's a high rate of accidents.
Sunday morning around 10, Cleveland police spotting a driver.
We got a white Durango with black rims, occupied 3 times, taking off. I'm at a high rate of speed.
He eventually hit a few cars and then crashed into Coswell Hall on West 71st and Franklin.
We're just concerned about the safety of everybody, and we don't need cars flipping into old buildings on the street. I think that the community and the residents on this street care less about whatever was going on with that SUV than the safety of the pedestrians, the children, the families that live on this street. We don't want high-speed pursuits down our street.
For more than a decade, William Heater and others have complained about reckless drivers in this Detroit Shoreway neighborhood. Their voices were heard, prompting a full construction project. Phase 1 was completed last year, installing roundabouts and lowering the speed limit between West 85th and West 50th Streets. This year, as of April, the city is in Phase 2 of this project. Work is currently being done between West 50th and 25th Streets. This also includes curb ramps and roundabouts. How helpful has that been?
I do believe that it has reduced speed on the street for the most part. I think that there's still a lot that could be done.